I did decide to get on a roller coaster. And I talked to like 5 women, and I asked them, do they still go on roller coasters? Because something happens when you have a baby. Like when they almost like, you almost don't know, like if you're going to make it, or, something happens in your life, you might feel like, okay, this is not worth it. But I decided I was going to conquer my fear. So in the video, I got on there. You guys can see it. I was just crazy. 1 minute I was like, hold my hand, and they was like, what's wrong with you? And then the next minute I was like, oh, I'm about to do this, right? And I finally did it, and I conquered my fear. 12 years I didn't get on a roller coaster because I was afraid. But in my mind, I said, I'm probably gonna die. Probably this is gonna be the time that I fly off, right? It's just gonna be me. You just make up all this kind of stuff like, no, nothing bad's gonna happen to the ride, but my chest probably just stopped. My heart probably stopped, Why would I do that to myself? It doesn't make any sense. So it's so funny because on the one hand, I was talking and having a conversation with this lady, like, yeah, I know, it's silly. 5 minutes later, I was on a roller coaster ride. I was like, I must have really changed, right? I must have really changed. So I decided to conquer my fear, and I got on, and what did I do right afterwards? I got back on. It was amazing. I was like, wow. My little daughter was 6 years old, and she got on a ride. I was like, poor baby, she don't even know what she's doing. Look, she just getting on her daddy. She just trying to ride with her daddy, and then she was like, and she did it. I was like, if she can do it, I can do it. So you have to think in your mind, when you see somebody succeeding, why would you hate on them? You just got to say, if they can do it, I can do it. Because success leaves clues. So you follow the structure, but you don't imitate the content. You can see that, okay, people that are wealthy, they own their own business, so I'll go do that. Or the highest paid people are doctors and lawyers, so I'll do that. Now, don't do it for the money, but do it because you are passionate about it. Do it because you want to do something and make a difference. My very first fear was singing in public, right? I don't know how old I was. You have to ask somebody, because I was singing in a group. We was in Lancaster, and I don't know how. I just had an idea. I want to sing, right? My brother used to sing all the time. I was like, if he can do it, I can do it, right? So I was like, let me gather all the girls. We're going to go and sing a solo. And then I ended up having, nobody wanted? Okay, I'll just take it. No, I really wanted that solo. So I just decided, look, the lesson is that sometimes you can't do it by yourself, but you can do it with a group. Maybe you couldn't go to an event by yourself, but you bring a couple friends and you go to that event. Whatever it is that you're afraid to do, you might be able to get it through a group, but sometimes you have to stand alone. Then you have to learn the lesson of standing alone. I had to go into business. There was nobody to partner with me. I had to write the check myself. The biggest check I ever wrote. I was like, why am I doing this again? I took like a couple days, like, okay, Monday, Tuesday. Do I really want to do this? Do I not want to do this? Stop playing games. You want to do it, so do it. Because we always have a choice. If maybe I didn't do it, I would probably be afraid. I would probably shrink up every time and every opportunity. You have to exercise that muscle of your willpower and exercise your will and say, I'm going to push myself a little bit more today than I did yesterday. I'm going to do a little bit more. I know it feels comfortable to stop, but keep going. And once you keep stopping, all right, I'm going to play basketball for 30 minutes. Tomorrow I'm going to do it for 40 minutes. The next day I'm going to do it for 50 minutes. So when people ask me, hey, do you want to do such and such? And it seems so extreme, I was like, let me start on a lower level and be consistent at that lower level, right? And just keep going and going and going. I know this is good for me. Let me start. So I don't need 5,000 people. I would be like, today my name is, I'll start with a little bit, and I'll start with and keep growing and keep becoming better. This is not easy. It's a difficult thing sometimes when you didn't even imagine that could be you, right? And so now you're drawing your own future. You don't know what you want to do, but you figure, okay, I'm going to go in that direction. You're drawing it as you go. So sometimes you're going to have to erase it, like this eraser board. You're going to erase, oh, I don't want to do that. Let me do something else. Okay, false evidence, pyramid ratchet. I don't know. I'm just going to rewrite it. Okay, that wasn't it. I'm not supposed to act ratchet. Okay, real. Okay, let's go back to what it was before. Don't ever be afraid to go back. Because what I learned is I can come back to where I didn't want to be, but if I'm a different person, it's going to be a different outcome. So we think I'm above that, I'm above this. But you're fooling yourself because you were supposed to learn a lesson here. and you decided to, oh, I'll pass, I'm not gonna take that lesson. So now you gotta repeat it over, and do you notice that in your life, that if you don't learn a lesson, you have to keep on doing it over and over and over again? Why does that person keep burning me? Why do I keep choosing the same person? Why do I keep getting this grade? Because that's the level I'm on. The thinking that it took to get me on this level is not the same thinking that I need to get me to the next level. Sometimes we have issues with fear. We fear being the oddball. I don't want to be the only one. I don't want to be the only one. I don't want to be the only one. I'm not going to wear orange sneakers. Right? That's the dumbest thing in the world until everybody else is wearing orange sneakers. I'm getting me some orange sneakers, right? We don't want to be the oddball. But sometimes you have to sit by yourself and be humble. Sometimes you have to do what other people will not do. Because there's a quote that says, successful people are willing to do what unsuccessful people are not willing to do. Not everybody want to sit in a seminar or a conference in the middle of their Saturday afternoon. Not everybody want to get dressed and go somewhere that they're not getting paid to go, they're not getting nothing. But you will never find your opportunity sitting on a couch. You won't find it watching TV. You're watching somebody else dream live out. They're conquering their own fear. Maybe they were afraid of the camera, but now the camera all in their face, they're going to take it because they're going to take the paycheck that goes with it. Do you get a check for watching them? You're making the money. I had a fear of going to college. All right, now when you're in the first grade, they say, you better straighten up. Because when you get to second grade, and then they do that to you when you get third grade. When you get to third grade, it's going to be so hard. When you get to fourth, they did it to me so many times. By the time I was like going to college, I was like, I don't think I could do it. Smart, but I didn't think I could do it. Why? Because everybody kept saying, it's too hard, I don't want to go. They keep dropping out, they keep quitting. And so I'm like, well, I don't know if I can go. I don't think that I can do it. It sounds like a lot of hard work. But then somebody broke it down to me one day. Oh, praise God for her. She said, college is not hard. It's just a lot of work. All you have to do, you've been writing papers, write your papers. You've been reading books, you read your books. That's it. You just get more than what you had before. Success is not hard. What's easy to do is easy not to do. The problem is that we get in our own way. We get in our own way. I want to wake up at 3 o'clock, but then I don't want to go to sleep. So I'm not going to be able to physically wake up at that time, which is my goal, because I wanted to stay up at 12 o'clock. I got to get this done. I got to get this done. One more thing. So I sabotage myself. But when I do what I say I'm going to do, right? If I want the goal, I got to pay the price. Then I'm conquering my fears. And I can do other things. Because when that's discipline, that's what I talk about in the book, is discipline. Discipline is going to get you in places that you never thought you could be. Discipline, doing it over and over and over and over. That's how I lost 30 pounds, because I refused to take a day off from working out. And it never clicked. That's all you had to do. Okay, I did something fun. I played basketball and I walked around the track. And you telling me I can lose weight like that for real? Because I'm consistent? You know how dumb I felt like all these years? That's all I had to do was be consistent. And it would happen for me. You ever be good, like you did something good and then you still feel stupid, like, oh man, I could have been learned this lesson, right? But it's okay, once you learn it, you take it and you keep going with it. I had a fear of opening up a business. I used to walk by, you had the for rent signs. When you're trying to buy a house and you're like, oh, it's for sale, you care. But when you're not trying to buy a house, it doesn't matter. You don't even see it. So when I saw a for rent sign, I was like, oh, look at that business. I'm looking. Oh, one day, I'm going to stop spending all my money and I'm going to get me a business, right? I had a fear because when I was time to write the check and sign the contract, you would have thought that they said if you failed, you would die, because I did not want to sign any contract. I had a fear of opening up my own business, because then it means I feel like I'm begging everybody. Can you buy my stuff? Can you come to my daycare? Can you do this? Can you do that? But I had to sit in it and say, you know what? I'm providing a good service. They have a bigger daycare down the street, but they treat them kids like they're numbers. I have quality care. We care about your kids. We used to send the parents a text message saying, happy birthday, mommy. And the kids used to sing, happy birthday, and had a video. Parents was just crying. Oh, God, it was so wonderful. Thank you, Miss Ruth. That's what happened when you're like good at what you do, right? You're just like, well, I'm stuck here, so I might as well be doing good. I might as well do it right. I might as well do it the way I want to do it. So it's so many times when I was doing my job over and above everybody else, because I said, if I'm going to be here, I'm going to be the best at what I do. Because I want God to see that I'm ready for a promotion. So it doesn't matter what everybody else is doing. I'm going to put my all into it. I'm going to give my best. You cannot be afraid. Sad story, but it's fine. First time when I was I think I was already in the daycare, I had lost a baby. I lost a baby and had a miscarriage. Same week I found out, same week I lost the baby, right? That was devastating for me. I was just like, what happened? Knocked me out. Like, oh my gosh. Because I already knew, like, oh my God, we can't have a baby. Oh my God, we got all my kids already. But I already had 2. Right? And then I was like, oh my gosh, I felt bad. I didn't enjoy my pregnancy when I had it, when I had the baby. So then I'm like, okay, I'm pregnant again. The very next year, the same month, September, pregnant again. So now I'm like, yeah, I'm having a baby. It's longer. It's been like 2 months and 3 weeks. And I told everybody. And then I lost it again. So now I had to go back and untell everybody. Like, oh my gosh, I lost the baby. It didn't hit me till later. But so now I'm pregnant the 3rd time in September. What is up with September? Every year for 3 years I had a baby. Like, I was pregnant. Jeez. I think that's that Valentine's Day. No, that's Christmas. But
Dead.
I was pregnant this time, so I had a fear of losing a baby now. Now, see, stuff happens to you, and now you have these new fears. So don't think that after you conquer your fears, like, I am invincible. Something else is going to come and knock your, tent down. So I had this fear of losing another baby, so I just was like, Doc, give it to me straight. What's my percentage of having this baby? Because I don't even think it's going to happen. So he was like, yeah, a 4% chance. I was like, dang, 4%? I'm really going to lose this child. He didn't finish his sentence. He's like, that you're not going to lose this child, or that you are going to lose it. Yeah, 4% chance that you might have another miscarriage. So I just thought I was going to have miscarriage after miscarriage after miscarriage. But but the whole time, it's like, he can say whatever he wants to, right? He's not God. He don't know. But I had to walk in faith and say, you know what? I think I'm going to have this baby. I'm going to believe. You have to believe in yourself. And you have to believe beyond belief. Like, you have to be crazy about your dream, almost, to get it done. To just get a little bit done, you got to have this much crazy. To say, I think I can do this. I think I can do this. But you know what? At that moment, I still had a business to run. What? I had a baby and I had to get up 2 weeks later and be at my business because nobody was going to be there. So I had to bring my newborn baby to work with me. Like, you have to do what you have to do. And I didn't want it to close like that. And if I had closed it, I would have been right, but I would have been wrong. Why? Because it was an after. I made up in my mind. I said, I'm going to make this work. That's when the doors start opening for me to get the ideas. Remember I told you about the parent night out and all that? I would have never experienced true success because I was back to 0 kids. Yeah. So that fear, I couldn't allow it to take my joy away. I said, it doesn't matter if I have fear and I learned something from that roller coaster ride. I said, I was screaming in my mind. I was screaming in my brain, like, get me off of here. If you look real close, I got up to get off the ride. Here go my husband, there's still time. There's still time to get off the ride. Somebody always gonna tell you that you can get off. Like, you can always get off. But I was like, no, I gotta do this. I gotta do this. Because I know that what it's gonna mean. I can't tell everybody to stop, face your fear. See, that's what happens when you start becoming successful. You start saying stuff and now you gotta live up to it, right? They're watching you, the kids are watching you. They're watching what you say. Some little kid was like, curse word, right? He said a curse word. And then he's like, don't repeat that to the little baby. I said, somebody told that little boy that same thing. They cursed, and they said, don't repeat that to the little baby. That's what you have to follow. You saw that already. So look at your sheet right now and say, when it comes to your dreams, what am I afraid of? Write that down for me. What am I afraid of? Because I learned a long time ago, you go after what you fear, Whatever your fear is, you face that thing. Okay, so you say rejection, right? And I say singing. Why are you afraid of, okay, so look, I'm afraid of singing because of rejection and failure, not measuring up, right? And you're afraid of rejection. Why are you afraid of rejection?
You feel like the whole world is crumbling around you, and that's not a good feeling. But in order to be successful, you have to be able to pass that.
Why do you have a bad feeling? Because it makes you in the moment feel worthless.
Kind of.
Little devalued there, right? Let's just put worthless. Let's just go all the way. I don't get my worth from you. I get it from God, right? So I shouldn't be getting my worth from you. You shouldn't have to co-sign on my dream. I don't care who you are. You could be the president. You don't like it? You could be mom, dad, cousin, friend, whoever. I don't need you to say, I believe in your dreams. You got to get to that point, right? Because now, if you don't, you will be people pleasing. But why? Why do I have a bad feeling and feel worthless? Because I'm people pleasing. I'm not doing I'm doing what they want me to do. I'm people pleasing because I care about what you think, pretty much. You heard the recording on people pleasing. But they only care about them. And you care about them. So who's caring about you? You gotta care for yourself. That's why we say that's not my problem. That's your problem. So you gotta get to the place where you're like, I don't care what you think. Like, I love you, but your opinion does not matter to me. Now, if I was a singer and Patti LaBelle said, I suck, then okay, a little bit. She's an expert at this thing. But you're not an expert. Who gave you the right to say, I'm not gonna be rich? What's your bank account look like? Did you ever get there? Did you ever start a business? How you gonna tell me about my business? You're on the sidelines. So what you have to say, you have to qualify to criticize. Qualify. Most of the people that's analysts, I feel like sometimes the football players, when they've been in the game and they've been in that seat, they're a little lighter on, he could have had problems, right? Right? They know what it's like to be in the game. They're not the person that's always talking, well, can you believe he did that? Can you believe he didn't, hit the touchdown? Why did he miss the catch? I love when fans say, why did you miss the catch? He's in the arena. You're not in the arena. He missed it because maybe he just did an extra step. But you wouldn't know because you're on the sidelines. You're sitting down, right, on the side. You're not out of breath. You're not working out. You're not eating right. You're not lifting weights. And you want to criticize the man that's making millions of dollars. It don't make sense to me. It really doesn't. But it happens every day. So they criticizing the football game. Now they feel like, oh, I'm criticizing your life too. I know exactly what you ought to do. Why don't you know exactly what you ought to do? People pleasing. So what happens if I don't please people no more? They won't be my friend? Aww. Alone. Why? Why do I care about pleasing people? Because I don't want to be alone. Why can't you be alone? Because I don't feel like I'm enough. I always have to have somebody around. So what's that? A self-esteem issue. How do I get rid of this, Ruth? Self-esteem. Build up your self-esteem. Have goals, small goals, accomplish them. Right? Say, I'm going to take care of myself. Care for yourself. Do things for yourself. Be nice to yourself. I went to the hospital and I got MRSA or something like that, like 7 years ago. And then they were just like bringing me hospital food. And I was like, the girl was like, I don't like hospital food. I was like, girl, when they gave it to me, I ate it. You know why? Because nobody ever makes me a meal, right? So they gave me a meal. And then I was like, wow, it's quiet here? I had 2 little babies at home. It's quiet. I'm loving the hospital. Okay, now they had to come cut me, and it's a scar right there. They came with their little knives every day at 9 o'clock to come cut it out. I was like, oh my gosh, it hurts. But then at the end of the day, I was like, good, right? Can I stay the whole week? They had me in there for a whole week. The only part they hurt my feelings was when they start putting the mask in. They got the results, so now everybody all fully clothed. Like, I ain't getting that. You can have that. Like, do I have a disease? This is just a spider bite. So I just decided, like, I can be by myself and like it and be in quiet. How many times you by yourself, you got the TV on? You know what I'm saying? You gotta enjoy that time for yourself. Why? Because you're gonna be the most creative. You're gonna have ideas pop up into your mind. That's why people say you gotta sit and meditate, hear. You can hear from God.